This is Folded Curiosity.
Do you ever find yourself locked in an argument and halfway through you realize you don't even believe what you're saying? That's not just ego, that's your logic matrix. And it's overdue for a reset. So an example is you're having a discussion with somebody, you're talking about a topic maybe you do or don't care about, and you realize that you are just trying to win. Another example is getting defensive during an argument or discussion. So what is a logic matrix? Your logic matrix is a metaphor for your belief system. It's your internal reasoning. It's shaped by ego, by upbringing, by learning patterns, things that you've encountered in your life. It's built unconsciously, but used consciously, and every single day, on most of the decisions that you're not even aware of. Imagine trying to find a location on a map using an outdated map. That's what we do when we trust our thoughts without inspecting them. So pilots, they don't fly solely on intuition. That's part of it, obviously. They use checklists, instruments, and those need to be calibrated constantly. Just like your logic matrix, we have to recalibrate that constantly and could use a reset. So signs that your logic matrix needs a reset. You always feel the need to win arguments, not just have discussions. You seek confirmation, not challenge. You can't explain your opinion without anger or sarcasm. And another big signifier is you've stopped being curious. When we stop challenging our thoughts, we become loyal to our past and not living up to our potential. I used to think that for people to trust me, I had to prove my abilities. I had to prove the talents that I had and constantly try to live up to that. And the minute that I felt that I had let myself down, I was letting those other individuals down. And through that, I had to try and always prove that I was right about whatever I was speaking about. And I found out that exactly the opposite was true. Being open and honest was actually freeing. And being able to discuss the things that I didn't know actually gave me more strength. And it's an incredibly important tool. So how do we reset our logic matrix? Take something that you believe in strongly and then steelman the opposite position. It helps you understand the other perspective and the other side. But another key is you have to be objective. Don't feed into that perspective your own thoughts. Try to view it from the other person's stance. So what this does is it builds mental range, like flexibility for the mind. And a key is, if you can't argue the opposite position better than your opponents, maybe you don't understand it. Another way is to audit your inputs. Most people think that their thoughts are their own, but it's usually just reflecting information and things that you consume. So you can clean this up. Try doing it for 30 days. Avoid clickbait, avoid extremely opinionated news, avoid reaction-based content. This goes for social media, conversations, anything that can sort of send you down that path. Try and avoid this for 30 days. The key is that most people don't have bad logic, they just have bad ingredients. Another thing you can do is when you read something or some information is being fed to you, pause for 3 seconds before you react. It's going to allow your brain to sort of process, and you can ask yourself, is this actually true or is it just familiar? So why does this matter? Most people aren't bad at thinking, they're just stuck in emotional overdrive. Training yourself and learning how to think clearly is like giving your brain a stabilizer. It's giving it that moment to sort of process things and think about your reaction before you respond. But by doing this and by teaching yourself to think clearly in high stress moments, you can start to make it habitual. Something I do in extremely high stress situations, I sort of throw caution to the wind and say, who really cares? Why does this really matter? Is this person really judging me based on my opinion? And you can kind of have fun with it. And as long as you can learn to let go of those things and not tie those thoughts to yourself and your identity, it's very freeing. And it teaches you a lot about yourself. And you can also learn a lot about the person that you're speaking to. So if your logic matrix was built 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's probably not built for the world today. So maybe it's time to reboot. Not because you're broken, but because you're evolving. A challenge to you is pick a belief, something you hold tightly, and take 10 minutes and argue the other side of that. Look at the opposing view. Don't do it to change your mind, but to modify your framework. Essentially opening the door to a different perception.